Yeah.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the House of Common show. The boys are in the building. It is our season finale taping on this Thursday. Whoever you're watching this, we have just completed our first season ever. 12 episodes. What a milestone. It's crazy to think that like what we came out of an idea that Adam had for us is now become 12 episodes for your viewing pleasure. Speaking of viewing pleasure, you can find us on YouTube. Make sure to search the words House of Common show. Once you find it, click on every single video, like and watch every single one, and then subscribe to the channel, and then share that with all your friends so that they can do the exact same thing. Maybe you are a listener. Well, you can find us on Apple Podcasts or on Spotify. Make sure to subscribe to those channels and then leave a 5-star review. Gentlemen, on this last episode that we are recording today is the 9th of July. A lot of things have happened this week. Pat Mahomes became the richest athlete in the history of the world.
Jeez.
More and more sports teams are canceling things out due to COVID. But the biggest news of them all is this. Kanye West, not that Kanye West, that Kanye West is running for president. Now, I know what you're thinking. Are you serious? Yes, I am. The same Kanye West who started as an in-house producer for Rockefeller Records, producing hits like Izzo and This Can't Be Life, really pretty well building the Blueprint album for Jay-Z. That Kanye West who then created the seminal classic in 2004, The College Dropout. That same Kanye West who then went to Wyoming and created Jesus King. That same Kanye West has announced that he's running for president. And before you think that this is a publicity stunt, he had an interview this week with Forbes magazine where he actually began to express and describe his platform. He is running for, get this, the birthday party, not the Republican Party. Not the Democratic Party, but the birthday party, because to quote him himself, when he wins, everybody wins. Like it's a birthday. It's a celebration for everybody. And so it is imperative upon us as the House of Common. We take every topic that you send to us, every topic that's happening in the world. We make sure to talk about those things, whether we agree together or disagree together. It's for your viewing pleasure. Gentlemen, the question is this. If this is for real, right, because at this point in time right now, it is early July. The ramping up for the election starts around September, October with debates and everything else like that, along with COVID and all this other stuff. But if this is for real, how does this change the world? We will start with the granddaddy of the podcast, the man who played JUCO basketball, but then decided that podcasting and making videos would be a much more
This guy said
enlightened
JUCO
way.
basketball.
3 at best.
Junior college for all those people who are looking for something to be mad about.
Enlightened way of
Or starting shooting guard.
all the way out from, he decided that making videos with the House of Common will be a much more better use of his time than possibly going pro and playing in Orlando right now with, let's say, the Utah Jazz. Adam Hoskins, give us your take on Ye running for president.
Yeah, I think, you asked the question of how this changes the world. And I think we've seen this now in Donald Trump. But I think the way that Kanye changes this is it now opens the floodgates. In some ways, it changes for the better, and in some ways, it changes for the worst. Let me frame it in this way. Donald Trump is not a politician. Donald Trump was albeit a businessman, he was a public figure who has become the president. And the danger in that is that Donald Trump, and I'm going to get to Kanye, but Donald Trump knows very little to nothing about actual politics. He doesn't really know essentially how the American government and the American structure of governance actually works. It's his party that are putting forth all this, all the rules and changes and all these things that are happening. And previous to this, you had people who understood politics who would run for president. Right, we have the exception with Ronald Reagan, but I mean, you have people who understand politics who are running for president. And now with Donald Trump in the office, and if Kanye wins, Kanye West being another person who really doesn't understand the fullness of politics and the implications, the deep implications of the actions of the commander-in-chief of the United States. This kind of opens up the realm of where the office of president now becomes accessible to anyone, and this is both bad and good in the sense that um, there's a lot of there's some things that Donald Trump is doing that's good for the American economy. I'm not here to comment on whether or not I like Donald Trump or anything like that. It's irrelevant. But there's other things where he's just straight up being taken advantage of because of his lack of knowledge of politics. And so there's a lot of checks and balances that the American government has in place that he has begun to remove because of whether it be emotional decisions. People have attacked his ego. People have called him soft or weak or incompetent or whatnot. And he's gone ahead and made decisions and things. And he's taken a lot out of a lot of checks and balances out of the process of how policy is made in the American government. You can take the example of PPE protection for the American people and how he has basically for the states, he has now put that into the hands of private investors to sell it back to states and stuff. This would not happen under another administration. But that is in part because Donald Trump doesn't actually understand the way that this all works together. So in terms of how does this change the world? Well, I mean, it changes America for one, which has direct implications on the world in terms of, you have people who may never actually be interested in politics, and if a political party sees value in that person or likability in that person, they can essentially put that person into power, which could be both a good thing. It opens up access for your average Joe Schmo. They can wake up one day and say, I can become president. I don't know how likely that is. Or it can also be a bad thing in terms of, you have people in a professional office who have no idea how to do the job.
The one thing I would say for Kanye is it can change the world, and at the exact same time, it can also not change the world. Because the first issue we see a lot of times is, regardless of whether we are here in Canada or in the States, if someone rolls up and it's like, I'm starting a new party to combat against the moving major political force, whatever his name was that started the People's Party or whatever.
Of Canada, you mean?
Of
Canada, you mean?
Yeah, it's very right wing.
Might be Ralph Nader.
No, he's talking about in Canada.
No,
he's talking about
no,
Canada.
Oh, Canada? Okay, sorry.
It's I want to say Patrice Bernier, but
That sounds right.
It's one of those things that he comes out, he makes a lot of noise, a lot of smoke, gets people in every riding, and doesn't even do well in his own riding. It's one of those things that for Kanye, it's he is benefiting from the chaos that is happening in the States at the moment.
Yeah.
And so I don't think it changes the world. Kanye is just trying to seize the opportunity laid ahead of him. Because one of the things that we can see is Kanye as an individual is an interesting guy. I think if he were to try and run on a major party, he would get lost. Just because his ideas, say what you want about them, are so above what everyone is thinking about for normal level ideas that it's like they'll be like,
I feel like we were all like that just now.
We all just felt exactly the same way.
That was picturesque, Tim.
That
Like,
was
yo,
good.
screen freeze? That was amazing. That was amazing.
Adam,
Well
from last
done, well
week.
done.
That was
That was
good.
amazing.
it's like I hear you, but what? So, I don't know. I would say it doesn't change the world. It's one of those things that he will run, and I hope to be able to see a debate with him in it, because if the debate is Kanye freestyling, rap battling on those mans, basically battle rapping is the debate of the street. and it's one of those things that this man could be running
That's a hot
bars on people.
Right, that's true.
That's big facts.
He's not really a battle rapper, though.
Yeah, I was gonna say he's not even the best battle rapper.
He's a rapper.
To reference something that we talked about in our pre-show, O'Shea, there's 2 battle rap scenes in Hamilton. Sorry, Tim, continue.
That's it for me. That's it for me right now with Kanye.
Jonesy.
Yeah, like when you look at Kanye and you see all this coming out, it's just another gong show. That's what it is. And it's going to be another circus. Now, unless he has a real platform, and that's what is yet to be seen. If this guy will have a real platform, if he'll have some real thought process behind it. And yes, he's showing the people that, hey, anybody can step up, anybody can, if you have money, you can, try to become the president. But I think overall, like, just my personal opinion, I think he's just going to help to divide the vote, with the Democratic Party, with the Democratic side. He's going to split the vote, and it's going to just make an easier way for Trump to win. And so that's all he's doing, unless he has a serious platform, which I doubt. By what's his party called again?
Birthday party.
The birthday party.
The fact that you've called it the birthday party, you've already made yourself a laughingstock. Now, this is Kanye. He could have come up with some other creative name, but he chose not to. So the fact that this is all taking place, I don't think it's going to change the world. What it is it's going to keep the eye on America. It's going to keep the America the center, the focus of the world, because people are going to be saying, I've got to watch how this lights up.
Andrew, I don't know if it might be a little too early to call it a joke and a gong show, in terms of if you.
And that's why I said. Kanye, and that's why I said if he has a platform.
I'll say this, that like Kanye, while Kanye has done some pretty outrageous things in the past, like wearing a MAGA hat, man, he's also surprised us in some pretty wild and incredible ways.
He's a billionaire right now.
Yeah,
he's a billionaire right now.
Right.
Like I mean,
for now,
and so
he makes more money than Jay-Z right now.
For now,
more money than Mariah. We all know how that goes.
Stop it.
I don't know. I don't think it's fair,
going.
especially in the spirit of not wanting to tear down other black people that are trying to do so. You know what I mean? Like I think it's like we.
Sure, and
it's tough because it's Kanye.
Yes,
you know what I mean?
And so I don't disagree with you, but it's more just when you come out with a party called the birthday party, and then you just come out saying you're going to run. I would have liked it if he said I was going to run and then had said this is some of my platform and unrolled it a little bit so people can know, hey, I'm serious. So, I've got this. I've got an idea, right?
So I will jump in for 1 second, and I'm gonna pass it back to Tim, and then we're gonna go to Bart. It's important to remember this for context. It was in 2015 that Donald Trump came on the scene and said, and he didn't have a platform. His entire platform was a 90-minute talk about the negativity of Mexicans. I'm not saying anything that's not true. You can find it on Google wherever you are. From there, people started putting him on television. There's my son Liam. He really wants to be on the show.
He put himself on television.
There you go. From there, and everybody said he's a joke. The catch is that while everyone said he was a joke, everybody put him on their television. It didn't matter if you were left wing or right wing, dark wing duck. It didn't matter who you were. He was on TV. Catch. He was on everyone's TV.
Yeah.
And the joke became reality after he knocked out candidate after candidate after candidate after candidate. So while it is funny and while it seems to be a joke, this happened 3.5 years ago.
Good point.
Yeah, but and then the other thing is that America's now living in the joke.
Go ahead.
What was that, Adam? And then we're gonna go to Bart.
I was just gonna say, and now America's now living in the joke.
Yes.
Yeah.
Right.
The joke that they thought was funny. And remember, he was on TV for ad dollars. He was on TV for commercials. He was on TV for views because they didn't think surely nobody is going to vote for. And here we are 3.5 years later. So is it likely that Kanye West wins? We will hold our reservations, but let's not take him as a joke, even if it sounds like a joke, because we've been duped before. Bart, let's go for it.
I think there's two things that I want to say, and I'm going to address specifically what the notion of what you're saying. The first thing is we don't have a clear way, especially in the States or even in Canada. There's not a clear way to vet a president. Have you ever been a president before? Were you a dictator in another life? Like, you know what I mean? Like, anybody can actually be a president. There's no prerequisites. So that's the first problem. The second problem is what you're talking about, Chase, and what we're doing exactly right now. We are giving shine to somebody who has not earned it. So somebody like Kanye or any other candidate would be deemed a joke talking about running for presidency in the United States without a platform. But because of his celebrity, and we are addicted to celebrities, we talk about it. So I got to air on the side of Charlemagne on the Breakfast Club where he says, I don't even want to talk about it. We shouldn't talk about it. Make him prove that he is worthy to be talked about by making him do the work. Because the more we actually talk about him and actually perpetuate, we're promoting it, and we're actually saying it's okay for you to say serious things or things that have serious connotations behind them without showing your work. I want to see receipts. It's not good enough for you to be at this stage in the month of June to say, I want to talk to the best people about that subject and I'll come back to you with an answer. We wouldn't accept that from anybody else. And I think for someone like Kanye, and especially in popular Western culture, we idolize the celebrities so much, and that's what happened with Trump a couple years back in 2016. And this is what's going to happen here. He's going to capitalize on our desire of hearing the audacity and the craziness of what he might say. Then that promotes his airtime. And what ended up happening, the New York Times did a study on this, talking about how it became a cycle where there was no outlet for, or no reprieve for, when we were not talking about Trump in mainstream media. And it was always 24/7, 365, the buildup in 2015 and 2016 up to the election, where there was not a day we didn't talk about Trump. So we have to be careful in how we address him, and we need to make people prove their work, because there are real politicians who have real grassroots support, that have real experience, that have done real work to do real work for the community. And we have such a high regard for them, and then we drop all of our standards for somebody who, just because he sells albums and shoes.
It's good.
Yeah.
Watson. Stefan. Oh, there he goes. Stefan, are you there?
He's frozen.
I think he's frozen. His connection
Yeah,
is not.
you know he's frozen.
All right. Well, we'll edit that part out. So then the next question then is, in light of what Bart just said, how we know in the states traditionally, in the last 60 years, let's say, black people have normally voted Democratic. Whether that's right or wrong, right? Whether that's right or wrong, you could speculate on that, and there's different reasons for that, and there are different videos that you can watch on YouTube or whatever else, or find on Reddit, that will explain to you either side of that argument. But traditionally, that's how black people have voted. Now, with Kanye West in the public sphere now of this, at least at this moment, does this help black people or does this hurt black people? Mr. Forbes.
I think in light of what you just said, it might change my answer a little bit. It may very well help, because it might break the mental constructs that are in place for the voting system. I'm not too privy to it. I can't do a deep dive on that. Maybe Jason could speak a little bit more to it. But I originally thought this probably harms the black community. I think because what it's doing is we're going spoof for spoof, right? You're putting Kanye up against Trump. I don't think that Kanye is the best to offer, like for the black community to offer up. I don't think that he, although he is a musical genius and he's a great historian, right? If you actually listen to the things that he talks about, he does make a lot of sense. He is an educated man, in the traditional and the non-traditional sense. But I just don't think that he would do any service to building on the first floor, second floor, third floor that Obama had already established for the black thought in America of aspiring to sit as commander-in-chief. I think it becomes more harmful because it kind of just has this sense of you can be smart, but a hooligan. And if so, and if you're popular enough, then perhaps you can be in power. And I just don't know if that's the narrative that country needs, or that even hip hop, the community that he represents, needs to have going forward.
Yeah, man, I think I'm with you on that, Cal, in terms of, in light of everything that's being said, I want to be careful not to hate on a fellow black man in terms of, like, if he is legitimate and wanting to do something, I champion the spirit of that. I champion the notion of Kanye wanting to get in and get his hands into this field. I just think that what he brings to the table is not the leadership of the American people. And I'll preface it with this: when we first started this show, you know, I don't know if you guys remember. If you go back to episode 1 and 2, I was actually the one that was hosting things, and I would start off the show. And what I quickly realized was that while I could do it, there were other people with different strengths. For instance, Chris Chase. Chris does a phenomenal job just opening up the show for us, making us all feel a part of the conversation. He does flow. He just flows so well. You guys have experienced this now, episode after episode. He does this naturally. He prepares well, and it just seems like in line. There's an alignment with what Chris does in terms of this, you know, hosting and flow and tying things together, making this whole segment and show feel like it's one thing. And what I realized is that while I could do it in some ways, it was such a struggle for me to be able to do this. I'd have to prep all the time, and even still it would come out rocky and choppy, and it was just, I was a hack at it in comparison to Chris. I realized that what I could do is I could champion Chris, right? As I could give my vote in saying, you know what, Chris, you actually be the one to host this, and I will champion you in terms of leading the face segment of House of Common. And that's kind of what I think that Kanye actually brings to the table, is that I don't think Kanye is actually the face of the black people, but what he can bring is his voice and his championing and his money and all these things to actually put someone who has boots on the ground, who has been working in the community, who has a broader grasp of not just black America, but all of America. You forget that the commander-in-chief is not just responsible for black America. The President of the United States is responsible for all of America, and while you will not get everybody's vote on everything, it is your job to represent the vast majority of the American people. And I just don't know if Kanye West is equipped for that role. I don't want to demarcate Kanye. I don't want to condemn him before he actually starts or anything. But I think that what he can offer in terms of championing someone who is more worthy of that task will go farther for the furthering of equality and the things that we as a people are actually fighting for in society. That's what I think.
That's
So Adam,
go ahead.
sorry.
Go on. No,
So-
that's awesome.
With that thought, though, like, could that be maybe the change that office needs to have going forward? Where, I mean, let's just say in his own home, having a Kim Kardashian and the strides that she has made in her legal journey, being right there in his ear, and maybe saying the leader of this collective is actually just a leader of the collective and the collective thoughts that kind of come together? Or does it need to be somebody who is the one?
Yeah, I just think that it needs to be someone who is a little closer to the ground. I'm not like again, like you, Calvin. I agree that he's a musical genius, but again, like a lot of celebrities, he spent a lot of time in circles that normal people do not experience on a day-to-day basis, and maybe doesn't have the empathy for the average individual. So I'm not saying in the sense that that he can't do it. I just question if he's the best person to do it.
Sure.
I think that with that being said, and I just want to quickly add to that, then who would say, or what created or gave that thought to what is the best type of candidate for that? And I think a lot of when we think of that has led to the type of people that we've had in office for a while. And maybe I'm not saying that it should be Kanye, but maybe there needs to be a different type of individual that is put in that position. And from that standpoint, it may be a good thing for us to change the type of person that we view as somebody who should be in that office.
Sure, and I don't want to be the only one to respond to this, but I would love, and maybe this is actually gonna maybe hint to a little where of my political views stand, But like, I would love to see someone like a Bernie Sanders, man. Like, if you look at the history of Bernie, you know what I mean, throughout the years, like in terms of pushing for the working people, I think of people who have had their boots on the ground for years. And of course, like, you know, there's questions about Bernie's age and all that kind of stuff, and we know that Bernie is out of the race right now. But I mean, I would have loved to have seen, like, what would America look like under Bernie Sanders, right? Like, what would
There'd be a lot of angry white people in the South. I can guarantee you that much. Let me tell you something, guys. I've been listening. You guys, listen.
Let's go.
I know that
Tell me something,
everybody, it's Kanye and all this. He's not qualified. Listen, America's long past the time of people being qualified to be president of the United States. We saw that when Donald Trump was elected. We actually saw that way back when Arnold Schwarzenegger was able to become governor of California. But anyway, all right, just keep that in the back.
He was a good governor.
Yeah, he wasn't bad.
But yeah, that's great. But again, we just elected anybody to be governor. Sure. Did Arnold do anything in the community? Was Arnold mayor? Did he serve any terms in office in a lower level? Nah, but this I almost dropped the N-word. This man decided.
And he said he never uses it. He said he never uses it.
And it should be eliminated.
Right.
And it should be eliminated. It should be eliminated.
We don't use
Say about an Austrian man.
Just for the record,
You have
the
hot
host
takes
is
all
in the
over
building.
place.
Stefan, just for the record, just so we have our facts straight, so we don't get, people don't come up. Arnold Schwarzenegger has a long-standing record of community service.
Yes, he does.
Very long-standing record.
Did he serve in
I think he
office?
meant it in office. I think he meant it in office.
He
Yeah.
meant in office, and he ended up doing. To your point, Steph, he did a great job. He did a great job as governor. But go on.
Yo, he did an amazing job.
Yeah.
He said,
All right, Watson's back in there.
Yeah. Go Watson.
He's paused.
Oh,
And has
no.
to reboot after
might be
almost
good.
dropping the N-word.
Listen.
The internet has canceled him.
What we do know,
Holy Spirit.
listen, what we do know about the United States
You are well.
All right.
Okay.
Andrew?
What
like
we
a
do know
Kanye
about
album.
the United States, to Adam's fact, is that they are looking for a different leader. Hence,
Yeah.
why
I
Trump is
agree.
in.
I agree. And Obama.
Trump was in because they wanted somebody that wasn't fully a politician. What I mean by that is polished, always towing the party line, not ruffling any feathers and doing things. Now, what they got was crazy, but they wanted something different.
Crazy to some and not crazy to others.
Crazy to others. Yeah.
It's important to make a distinction.
Yes. So when Kanye now is in here, they might be thinking, hey, we want somebody new. We want somebody fresh. We need somebody maybe different on the other side. Now, is that Kanye? It's yet to be seen.
Yo, is it bad that I just want to see someone just come out on an interview and say Kanye doesn't care about white people?
Wow.
This really is the season finale, eh?
Yeah,
Yes.
it is.
We're wilding right now.
Everybody's just getting it all
everybody
out.
about to bounce.
But you're telling me that wouldn't be amazing.
It actually would be it would be comical. Jason,
We're done
you're
after
you're alone American. You at some point you're gonna figure out how if it's mail-in ballot for the next election, that sort of thing. So what's the redeeming part of this? Is there a redeeming part of this as you're thinking about the country of your birth and the amount of voting that you've done, and you see the gerrymandering, you see voter suppression, you see all these sort of things that affect our community in particular, in different states and different cities around the U.S. You've seen all of these things. Where are some of your thoughts? Like, what's the redeeming part of this, if there is any redeeming part of this?
Well, you know what? I think Jones is right. I think America is looking for a different leader, and it's kind of interesting. The last two presidents have been different. Obama was speaking and preaching about hope, and then Trump was bringing in his campaign about making America great again, even though that was something that was ran back before on the George Bush ticket a few decades earlier. But what's interesting is that I think that America is looking for change, but I think and what I'm always saying is that there's two different countries right now. And for the first time, probably where people really seeing it, that that there really is two different countries and they're kind of pulling at each other. And so really what's going on is I think it really takes a real good politician to kind of bring things together. And to be honest, you know, I'm not necessarily upset about Kanye actually going and putting his hat and saying, okay, I want to be on the ticket. But the issue I have with it is the fact that his timing. Okay, if you want to do something like this, go 2 years early where you have time to get your donations, because the reality is most people drop out because of donations. And again, I mean, after reading some of the things that he said there, you know, he has some good points about pro police brutality, but then he has other crazy points saying that he wants his government to be like Wakanda. So I mean, right, yeah, right. So Bombay. So you know what I mean?
Bombay.
Right.
Bombay.
So I mean, I really believe. I really believe that that things have to be a certain way. I mean, he has to, I mean, like for the country to move on, everyone needs to get on the same page. And maybe God's bringing up the whole racism thing so that the country can finally get on the same page and go over its sins of the past and finally move forward. So even Black people and other minorities can just come together and move forward, because that's the real issue. I mean, Trump has brought out all the issue and the stains and the problems of America that America has never faced. He's brought these sins out, and now America is looking at itself, you know, and saying, hey, I need to change. I need to be better. And we need a different type of politician to come and take over, but they need to go through that whole process the right way.
Yeah. As it relates to this, is this something that could be redeemed? I actually think that there is the potential. I don't know for sure where this is going, but there is a potential for this to actually change things in a good way. And the reason why I say that, I'll preface this by saying that Kanye, even before this, has made some really positive statements in terms of his new belief system, something I know that the guys that are a part of this crew, we believe in, which is he has professed to be a follower of Jesus. Now, have we been able to see fully where that's taken him? But if he is a follower of Jesus, and I'm just going to put this out here on the show, if there's anybody that has the power to be able to redeem any situation, even that be it America, it would be Jesus. And the reason why people have been asking for a new type of leader is because of all the nonsense the other people have brought. And maybe Kanye could potentially be that if he really is driven by this idea that he wants to be one that brings forth bringing America back to its identity of being a country that is nation under God. And so from that standpoint, if that is a driving force behind what he does, there is potential for him to really redeem America and then the whole political system at large.
So you're saying he's going to make America great again, and we're all going to be put back into slavery because it was a nation under God?
No, 40 acres and a mule, man.
No,
because slavery was a choice, right?
A house or a car for an acre and a mule, piano or guitar.
You guys are so dumb.
Yeah.
You guys
I feel you. I feel what you're saying, but I think that there have been many Christian nations that haven't worked out for the people at large.
Oh my god!
Oh my goodness!
Look who's logged in.
So please make sure, Bart, to make sure to put that as the freezing screen. So if you can see that on
I hope it
Stefan's
freezes
screen.
like that for the whole time.
Stefan has made his
man.
feelings made. So Stefan, your screen froze.
It did.
You have
For the second time.
Before I get ready to close up the segment, speak your piece on whatever it is that you were saying before.
Yeah.
You were saying, yo, listen, guys.
Let me tell you guys something, man.
Yes.
I think that Kanye has the opportunity to do what Obama couldn't do, which was rally a lot more Black people together, especially those people.
More people than the inauguration that Obama had.
Yes. I guarantee you that when Kanye, hold on, let me not guarantee, but I think what Kanye's going to do,
full send, bro.
I think what Kanye's going to do, if I can be serious for a brief moment after that, that entrance, is I think Kanye's actually going to get a lot more people out to vote. I think those people who generally don't care about anything are going to think, okay, well, maybe I'm going to vote for Kanye because what else am I going to do? What do you mean, no?
Stefan, can I stop you right there?
Yeah, go for it.
To which effect? So, what is the end goal? Okay, if Kanye runs for president and more people come out to vote, does that not split the Democratic vote?
100%.
100.
Yeah.
Oh, it does.
So what's the
Which
end
means
goal?
Trump
or
walks right
it
in.
adds, or it,
Right.
or it. I mean, it takes. It depends. Like it depends on who you want to see win, which party you support. So we can say you can say it as it splits the Democratic vote, or it adds to the Republican vote. It really
Right.
depends.
It's
on
gonna-
how
I want to
you-
say, yeah,
But
it's going.
Kanye's
to
definitely going to split the Democratic vote. There's no doubt.
But then there's no Republicans. No Republicans are going to vote for Kanye, though.
Well,
Exactly.
hold on. I don't know
Trust
about
me,
all
they're
that.
not-
That's
they're
not a
voting for
thing.
Kanye.
If you know how it works, those Republicans are not voting for
Well,
Kanye West.
But
Exactly.
well, I
Can
know,
I
but
just-
would they vote for Donald Trump again? Because there are a lot of
Yes.
Republicans
Yes,
who are not.
100%.
Yes.
Oh,
He's
they're
done a
not-
good job of making
Let's
them
add
happy.
this to the house. Let's add
They-
this to the house. So, if you like, so we are Canadian, but we recognize that because of our friend Jason, that there might be Americans who watch this episode. If you lean conservative, would you vote for a Kanye West? Or if you lean left, you lean Republican, the Democrat, would you vote for Kanye West? Put that in the comments. Let us know what you would think, gentlemen. Back to you.
Chris,
Yeezy.
can I just respectfully disagree with you,
Of course you
Stefan?
can. Oh,
In
Yeah.
terms of
Stefan.
like, in terms
okay,
of like,
respectfully disagree with Stefan. Yes.
yeah. In terms of what you said about he's going to get more black people to vote, I think that is a very narrow-minded view in terms
100%.
of like
Unfortunately.
what like 50, like 60, 70-year-old black people in terms of like the boomer generation is going to go out and vote for Kanye West.
No.
For real,
Not a
like
single one.
but I'm telling like
But
how
I'm-
many of them in terms of understanding who Kanye. So what I'm saying is like you're juxtaposing, Kanye versus Barack Obama. Barack Obama had basically the entire black vote. Kanye
Right.
does not have the entire black vote. You have to understand that like Kanye polarizes black people as is, right? So I don't know. I
think
like without even going into splitting the vote, right, in terms of more people, I don't even think as many people are going to even be motivated to go out and vote because of Kanye. Now, given the
Right.
political climate of what's happened with police brutality and what's happening right now, and Donald Trump being, I think more people are going to come out and vote just in general. But I don't think the catalyst is going to be Kanye West.
Now,
I don't disagree. I don't disagree that what I really mean to say is that Kanye's going to get the younger black vote. I don't care about like the older. I think he's going to bring up. the
You
younger
care.
black
You
vote.
care. You care. You care.
don't
I don't
care
think
about
he
the older
is,
black
though.
vote.
Care. You care. You care.
now in that
Retract
argument,
that.
though,
Retract that. You care
hold
about
on,
the
hold
older.
on, no.
No, I'm
No,
not
you
that.
have to look
cares.
at.
With that, I'm
exactly
talking like
He's
if,
gonna do the moonwalk
in the
for about
in the
10
voting
seconds.
block.
O'Shea
In the voting
hasn't
blocks.
spoken yet. So O'Shea, what were you saying, homie?
But Stefan, you're saying the younger vote. You know what the problem that has been plaguing America with that younger vote is a lot of these guys are convicted felons. They aren't registered voters. They aren't registered Americans who are putting their address down because for whatever reason they don't
They
want
can't.
that down.
They
So
can't.
the
If you're
same
convicted, you
people-
can't vote.
Once you are convicted, you can't.
Right.
You can't. So these same people that you're saying are going to vote for him aren't going to
Love
be
this
able to
family.
vote for him.
Can we just also say that the young black vote isn't limited to Harlem or
Yes,
like
thank you,
I'm
Calvin.
I'm like,
It's outside Chicago.
He's like,
I don't know
Brooklyn,
what you're saying.
and all the
Brooklyn,
young
but-
people have a record.
So-
What?
Yeah,
But
every
what
young
O'Shea-
person never went
but
to
what
college,
O'Shea
went to
is
jail.
trying to
Yeah,
say,
what he's trying to
O'Shea
say.
is-
I hear what he's
but
trying to
it's-
say.
What he's trying to say, I think, in a different. I have another side of what O'Shea is trying to say. The young population of voters is actually too woke for Kanye. The young
Fair.
population of Kanye of voters is actually the people who wanted Elizabeth Warren to win and wanted Bernie to win. Of those of the liberal mindset. So
Right.
I don't think it's a matter of he's going to stop him voting. I think the people who he thinks are going to vote for him are actually different than him. They are more extreme in their liberalism than he
Fair.
would then be.
But don't
considered
you?
to be.
But I think I'm gonna be serious for a moment. I think there's a segment of the Democratic bloc though that isn't actually happy with Joe Biden being the nominee.
No.
No.
And I
I mean,
think,
yeah, that's
Right.
an obvious. That's an obvious.
and so I think now I'm gonna pretend I'm Kanye's political strategist. I think those are the people that.
Are you sure you want to put that on yourself?
Okay, go
So
on.
you have
Yeah,
a
right.
third job.
Let him
Put
speak.
it on
Let
your
him speak.
Insta
Let him
bio.
speak.
I think
Truly
that,
West
that
Indies.
those are the. I think those are
Okay,
the people
Julius.
that Kanye would actually go after, because I think that block is bigger than we actually think. Nobody's really happy that Joe Biden won, except for the establishment.
Well,
Right?
I don't think I would add this, and then we got keep it moving a little bit. I would add that I don't think anyone's happy with anything
No.
at this
Yeah.
point.
Right.
Right. And so
There are a
it's
few
a
rich
matter of-
oil
there are a
company
few.
presidents.
There are a few. There are a few.
Who
But for the
voted for
most
Trump
part,
are happy.
a lot of the there's I mean there's a reason why there's unrest on everything right now.
Right.
I'll say that.
And that's why, because mentioning Trump, like you said, Jason, but that's why it can still be anyone's game.
Right.
So, as you can see, Stefan has on his screen another picture professing his appreciation for the candidacy that is Kanye West. So,
President,
what we're gonna
yay! 2020, here we go.
do-